Captain, my captain.
Captain, urgent news from the General.
Why not really blow it up, Captain?
Captain's log. Barking into hostile environment.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
Captain.
No, Captain. They're alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. This is your captain speaking, and this is the third stream tonight. So let's push through it. My voice. I've been drinking a lot of water. I'm going to stay hydrated. Yeah, need that water. Thank you for watching. In this video, I'm going to rank the unmatched sets, all 18 of them. We're going to rank them based on beginner friendliness. I should call it beginner friendliness, actually. That would have been better. But beginner friendly. So, because there are a lot of factors in choosing your favorite sets, or choosing the best sets, which set to buy, that kind of thing. A lot of factors. If you are not very good at games, or if you don't enjoy complicated games, then you may not enjoy complicated characters. If you don't enjoy, having to make really crunchy decisions and having to think through a lot of stuff, then those characters will not be for you. You may want to be more of the Bigfoots, where you just throw in a 6 and defending for 4, and it's just pretty simple, basic math kind of stuff. If you like to do brain burners, you're going to enjoy the Doctor Stranges and that kind of a set. So that's what we're doing today. First, I'd like to do a shout out to my Crockpots. We have Bromantic, Greg's, Vlasinski, 619 Sports, Chick Charney, O-Town, and Shagging for Smash. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you'd like to be a Crockpot today, you can at patreon.com/CaptainCrockpot. And I am hugely thankful for your support and their support. So, the last one today. Last one, let's get into it. There will be a moment for you if you'd like to call in on Discord. You can call me at the end of the video when I finish that last ranking. You can give me a call. If not, no sweat, because this is our third video, so there is no shame in it. But O-Town did call after that first one and was able to convince me of a couple things, and I'm glad he did. So you just call me on Discord. So looking at beginner friendliness for our sets, we have in the F tier, and some of you may disagree with this, but and this is interesting actually for looking at all the other sets and the rankings I just did. In the F tier, at the very bottom, I have Battle Legends Volume 2. Now, I think that all of these sets can be handled by, if you're a board gamer, you can handle Unmatched, regardless of the set you get. Okay? If you're a board gamer. If you're not a board gamer, then that's probably why you're looking at this tier list to begin with, because you are trying to figure out, well, which one can I get to? If you are a board gamer, then Unmatched is not that complicated, and it is very user friendly and streamlined as a game, so you're not going to have a hard time. But Battle Legends Volume 2 is in my F tier because in that game it introduces the most questions of any set. The most questions of, okay, well, what happens with my there's 2 attacks in this card. What do I do with that? And I'm on high ground. Does that mean if I shoot anybody when I'm on high ground, then I am thematically on high ground and they're lower than me, even if they're 2 spaces away? Well, no, you don't get high ground then. Okay, that doesn't, thematically it doesn't make sense. And okay, I'm doing a double attack, or I'm being double attacked. Well, what if Wukong's clone dies, and then with the first attack, does that second attack not happen? And okay, well, with Achilles, he's drawing cards after winning combat, so it pretty much all stems around those double attack cards. There's so many questions that come because of this double attack mechanic. And then also you add on the high ground. Yenenga's health, and her archers being in her zone, not in her zone, the clones. There is a lot. Because of all that, it makes this one of the best sets. But it also makes it one of the fiddliest and confusing sets. And so for that, it is in the F tier. Above that, we have this one. Sun's Origin. Another top tier set. In fact, it's funny because the more beginner-friendly the set is, most likely that's less fun to play. For me. I like the crunchiness. I like the decisions. I like the tactical, all that stuff. This set really punishes and rewards positioning. If you don't position well, you are going to get wrecked. If you position poorly, you are going to get wrecked. And so, and positioning is one of the hardest things to do in the game. There's also there's a new mechanic of flanking that can be sort of confusing. And Tomoe's, there's a lot of effects. There's a lot of text on the cards. But really just, it boils down to the positioning is a thing that is so punishing. And in this set specifically, it's going to punish the most. And that's why this is at the bottom of D tier. Above that, I've got, where is it? Here we go. We've got, for King and Country, beginner friendliness. So this is an item map. Item maps are not beginner friendly. Just overall, item maps are not beginner friendly because it introduces a whole new thing that you have to think about. And how do you use them and when to use them? Once you understand it, it's super easy. But beginner friendly, it's probably not very, very beginner friendly. Black Panther's taking cards and putting them in his vibranium suit. That can be weird. It's very streamlined once you understand it and think about it. But initially it can be jarring. Winter Soldier, his effects can't be canceled. That can be shocking and confusing as you're playing. Because you're like, oh, look at my cool thing. I'm going to do this thing to him. And then, or I'm going to stop his thing because I got a feint. I'm going to stop his thing. And then it doesn't happen. And you're like, what? I don't understand. He's like, look at my thing. My character card says it doesn't work. And you're like, oh, it's so stupid. So you're just frustrated. Now, when you play it more, you're like, oh, that's not that frustrating. There's a lot of recursion happening with Winter Soldier's deck. There's the negative effects that are happening. With Black Widow, she has a whole new thing that she's doing. She's doing these missions, and the missions and the timing of the missions and wait, so if I deal you damage, does that just accomplish the mission? No, you have to deal the damage and then play the mission as an action. So you have to have done the damage on your first action. There's some weird stuff with that, and that is why it is at the top of D. The next one. So these are the lower we are, the difficult. So S will be very beginner friendly, and F is not beginner friendly. The next one that we have is going to be Houdini Genie, and this is because of his boosts. This is because of the positioning of Solomon's Mine. It's a map that can really mess you up and be frustrating if you don't understand it very well. So, and then Houdini has all of his boosts doing different effects, and that can also be confusing. There's a lot of text on these cards. I think Genie's pretty straightforward, but with all the action gains, you can lose track. You can really lose track if you forget to do his ability up front. You can lose track. So there's a good amount of upkeep and mental upkeep that you have to do with this set. That makes it not super beginner friendly. Up next we have Beowulf and Little Red Riding Hood. And this one, so the doors specifically make this one not as beginner friendly. Heorot, the map, has these doors on it that if you're going to move through them, when you maneuver, you can open the door. You have to use a movement to open the door, and then you can go through. If you're closing the door, it's a free action. You don't have to do anything to close the door. But to move through it, initially, you have to spend a movement point, whatever you want to call it, to open the door. That is confusing for a lot of people. And that just happens all the time. It happens with competitive players as well. They'll mess it up. They'll forget about it. They'll forget how, like, oh yeah, I ran through it. The door was open and I ran through it, so I closed it for free. And someone's like, "Oh, that costs a movement." No, it doesn't. It can create weird things. So that can be confusing. And then also the text on the cards. There's a good amount of effect damage. Little Red's basket has to be certain symbols. So this could definitely be even lower down on the thing. Actually, we are going to drop it down because, I mean, it is a complicated game, complicated set. We'll drop that down to there. It won't be as pretty of a yeah. It just belongs there though. You know what? Ooh, yeah, that works great. That works great. That does. Guys. No, listen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Next up, we have Hell's Kitchen, and I do like where those are now. It looks good. So Hell's Kitchen. Should this be here? So you have Daredevil. Daredevil has his recursion, and that is very tricky. That's right. Yes, as we go up, we're getting easier. Right. Okay, so this is good. This is in the right spot. Elektra, I mean, we're just getting easier now, so I don't know what I have to say about it if it's just getting easier. The reason why it's not higher is that these are all easier. Elektra's, she dies and comes back. That can be sort of confusing. Her health goes up. Her discard goes into her deck. They shuffle it, but her hand stays the same. But then she puts her hand on the board because the hand is the name of her, or the foot. No, what are they? I'm not sure what they are. The hand or no, they're the hand. Are they the hand? Yeah, they're the hand. I'm not sure. So that can be confusing. And then Bullseye has to win the first. He has to win combat to really do his effects. And so keeping track of whether you won your combat the first attack or not, that can be a thing. And then the map tokens as well are tricky. You have the one that puts a discard card back in your hand, and then the one that you're attacking with. And when you're attacking, you have to use that fighter to use that token to do the attack. You can't have a sister do the token and then have Dracula do the attack. It's got to be Dracula on the token, using the card, using the token, and then doing the attack. That can be confusing. Next up, we are getting into the B tier. We have Teen Spirit. And Teen Spirit is semi-complicated because of, one, you have map tokens. And then two, you have the Squirrel Girl and all of her squirrels. Getting tired. You have squirrels and all of her squirrels. Hydrate. Baked goods. So you got these 8 squirrels that come out and they're doing all these shenanigans. You're moving them all, and it's like, okay, did I move this one? Did I not move this one? And then Miss Marvel she can attack from 2 away. Doesn't matter about the zones. That can be a little confusing, sort of confusing to think about and keep up with. And then the map tokens. So that's why Teen Spirit goes right there. Next up, good old Brains and Brawn. I was like, what's the name of that one? Brains and Brawn. The only complicated stuff about Brains and Brawn are map tokens and Doctor Strange doing his ability. His ability is very interesting, and once you do it, you're really used to it. But there's a good amount of text on his cards, and then his ability is like you're taking a damage, putting the card that you just played at the bottom of your deck, and then putting that on top. And there's also a lot of shuffling. You know what? Okay, we're absolutely doing that. And we are absolutely doing this and this. That. That is perfect. I'm sorry about that, guys. How the heck did that slip by me? Yeah, the map tokens and then Doctor Strange alone will make that where it is in the back of C tier. The other fighters are very straightforward. That's probably why I put it higher, because Hell's Kitchen does have more complicated fighters. Like, there's more complicated fighters, but Doctor Strange is very complicated. So definitely going to go there. Next up, we've got another Marvel token map, and this is way more straightforward. The fighters just are pretty simple. They're cycling through. Moon Knight cycles through. Luke Cage has his base defense, and Ghost Rider can do his vrooming with his Hellfire. But it's very straightforward. There are map tokens, and so this is going to be more complicated than other sets without those. And next up, we have the T-Rex and Dr. Sattler. So the T-Rex introduces a new idea, and that's why it's complicated. It is a large fighter, large figure, and large figures attack from 2 away, and they cannot go through the secret passageways on Baskerville Solomon's Mine. They also cannot go. They can move without being stopped through like the Raptor paddock, and they can just walk over the one-way spots, which is it's really cool. It's an interesting idea, but that can be confusing. The range can be confusing. Always drawing after your turn can sort of be a little weird. A lot of boosting with the T-Rex, and then Dr. Sattler is going to be doing a lot of insight stuff, and that can add a little more bit of complexity. And then we have the Buffy set. There's again, I don't play a lot of Buffy, so this set is not very it's not very known by me. It's the least, like, I'm the least familiar with the set overall. I don't know the names of the cards. I don't really remember what the cards do because I don't play against them very often. They're not in the competitive scene. But there's a good amount of text, and there's some complicated things about them. There's not a lot. They're pretty basic, but like Willow's changing. I think Willow's ability is pretty confusing. It's like she's Dark Willow if she takes damage or something, and then she turns light if she's adjacent to a friend. I think that's how it works. I don't remember, but it's confusing. And then Spike has his little foggy smoke poison token stuff. A little confusing, not too complicated, but they're going to be at the front of B. The rest of these sets are pretty straightforward. Interesting. I guess that is straightforward. Yeah, I was looking at the Raptors Ingen. I'm like, that's pretty complicated. No, it's not. It's not complicated. The maps are complicated. Next up, guys, we have Cobble and Fog. And with Cobble and Fog, you have the theme just works so well with all the fighters. It really makes it easier to play the characters. I think that a lot of people do think that this is a complicated set. I disagree. I don't think it is. I think it just really works thematically, and there's a good amount of reading. I guess that could be confusing. There's a good amount of reading. Yeah, there's a good amount of reading on the text, on the cards. So I guess if reading comprehension is lower, then move this set down. And so maybe, yeah, younger players this is not as easy of a set. But I don't know where you put it. The Marvel maps, I think, are going to add so much complexity that it wouldn't go. Yeah, I like where it's at. I'm happy with it. Next up, guys, we have Deadpool. Okay, Deadpool. So Deadpool's a solo fighter, and he has 30 unique cards, which is really cool. They're sort of confusing when you look at them as trying to find out where the different things are, because they're very unique in the sense that because each card's different visually. It's sometimes hard to locate the boost value, sometimes hard to locate the other numbers and stuff. It's not really, but it can be. I could understand someone being like, that's sort of tricky and confusing. Like, okay, sure, I understand that. And then each card is different. And so because each card is different, it is you're not going to have an easy time knowing what's coming and that kind of a thing. So I can understand that being. I think that could be sort of confusing. But again, he's moving up. He's the 6th easiest fighter, or box. We have Bruce Lee. He's got action gains. That's the thing about him that's confusing. Action gains, the jeets, pulling the back in and out of your hands, the schemes and stuff. That can be complicated. So, but he's also pretty streamlined. Jurassic Park, Ingen versus the Raptors. Now, this one, maybe we bump this. We're gonna bump it because it has a map, and the map is complicated. The map has one-way arrows, so you can only go the way the arrow is, but you can attack both ways. So that's what's confusing about it. The Raptors are very straightforward. There's nothing complicated about their deck. They have action gains, and that's it. Action gains. And then Muldoon has movement effects, and then his traps. You're going to take a damage, and oh, but wait, we're going to drop him again, because if in the scenario where, now it's not in this set actually, but in the scenario where you have a fighter on the trap, like you have a worker on the trap, and then someone moves through you, you set the trap off, but you don't stop moving. You keep moving. It's really weird. And you take a damage, and then Muldoon does draw a card. But it's such a rare thing. And it would not happen in this set. Oh no, it could happen in this set with through adversity. So yeah, never mind. We'll drop that down to where it is. I hope that made sense to you. It might not. It might not. Next up, we have Tales to Amaze. It's beginner friendly because it introduces solo and co-op, and co-op is the absolute friendliest way to play, because you're working together and you can ask any questions you have. You're like, hey, this card says this. What is it? What do you think? And then they're like, oh, look at that. That's cool. And so you can work as a team, and it's not going to affect anybody negatively at the table if you misunderstand something. Even it's just like, whatever. We're just playing the game. We're having fun. But there is some complexity with how the game actually flows, with the enemies, the minions, and that kind of thing. I played the whole thing wrong the first time I played it. The first couple times we played it wrong because we messed up the Ant Queen, and she had these different pheromone cards, and I was like, okay, I guess these pheromone cards mean she's attacking us. They didn't, so we were getting attacked 5 times by her and getting wrecked. It made it really fun, but that's not how she's played. So it does have some complex parts of the game that will that make it not number 1 or 2. The next most beginner friendly is going to be Battle Legends Volume 1. This is just super straightforward. Everybody does exactly what they do, and there's nothing fancy to it. The most complicated thing would be Alice changing size. And hey, thank you, Go Galston. Thanks, Go. Yeah, I've got a lot more of them coming. I'm really excited to be doing it. It's a lot of fun. But I have to get I've got to stop after this one because I'm tired and my throat's hurting and everything. But this has been really fun. So Battle Legends Volume 1, yeah, it's overall it's a very easy set to understand the game and learn the game, and you've got different fighters for your playstyle. Because you have King Arthur boosting his attacks, and it's not that complicated. And then Medusa does her stuff. It's not that complicated. Sinbad draws cards. Not that complicated. Pretty user friendly. And then the most user friendly, most beginner friendly is Robin Hood Bigfoot, and it is because the cards. It's just exactly what the cards say, and it's exactly what the cards do. And there's no sugarcoating it. It's just really simple. Bigfoot is one of the easiest fighters. He's one of the fighters that I give to a new player the most, because he just hits hard, and he's strong, and he's easy to play. The schemes are easy to play as well, and then Robin Hood gets to draw and like maneuver and stuff. I could see moving these. Any of the top 3 I could see moving around. Right. Yeah. No, it makes sense. So Gogo just said that. Said, I'm personally partial to Raptors and Ingen to beginners because of the price tag. Also, because it's not yet vaulted and I'm still in good supply. Right. So definitely that makes the Raptors higher in the value and all that, because you can get it for dirt cheap. It's always on sale. Books A Million puts it on sale every other day. And it's a great set. So that makes sense. Yep. And then, yeah, you can throw this one around anywhere, guys. But there you have it. I have not played the Shakespeare one, but we're going to take a guess. I have no idea. I think they're going to be complicated. I think all of them are going to be complicated. And with every new set that comes out, they are creating new things, new mechanics, right? So I do think it's going to be complicated compared to all the other sets. So we're going to go drop it down here. I'm thinking we're going to look at like something like this. You know what? Let's just go on a limb and say it's going to be the most complicated. It's going to be the most complicated. Go. I don't know if you missed it, but if you'd like to call in on Discord, you can. You can call me on Discord and then give me your thoughts on the list in the next 2 minutes. 1 minute. You can do that while I'm wrapping up. If not, no sweat. But there you have it, guys. There is the beginner-friendly tier list for unmatched sets, all 18, and then a random guess for the slings and arrows. Let me save this list. So we've got, what are we calling it? We're going to call it beginner friendly. Captain Crockpot. Unmatched sets. We're going to save that. And, oh, wrong. There we go. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And check out all the other tier lists if you are interested. I'm not sure how many there will be at the end of this whole thing, but as of right now, I have at least 2 others that you can check out. For I ranked by best value, and I ranked by in the box experience. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Gogo. Yes, this is exactly what the purpose is, to help people when they're buying and selling, and just to know what the sets, which ones are going to be helpful for whatever. Because everybody buying, when you buy a set, you're not, there's going to be something that will stick out to you, whether it's the price tag, or it's the game length, or it's the complicatedness, or the IP or whatever, right? So thanks, that's awesome. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, this is your captain signing off.
Now hear this, now hear this. This is your captain speaking.
What a turnout!
What happened here was a miracle. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have now seen the impossible. I did
My friend.
I thank you for your support.
Couldn't be more proud of you.
Get a heart and soul of this team.
You and I are a team. Nothing is more important than our friendship.
We need you, man.
I have you to thank. Couldn't have done it without you.
This is for you, buddy.
So without further eloquence,
Thank you.